There's a gun store on the way to the mall. What do you say we pay it a visit?
A gun store sounds like a fine place to stop.
Hello everyone and welcome, my name is Andrew Can and together we can game. In the last episode of Can Play Left 4 Dead 2, we made our way out of the hotel and into our first safe zone. In this episode we're going to continue moving forward and you may notice some things here in the safe room. For example, wear face masks at all time. Do not remove your face mask for any reason. If you require assistance, please ask a CETA staff member to help you. You can see the CETA logo. You must be entered into our patient tracking system to receive care at this facility. More world building, and you can see some CETA trailers out here. I like to think that they are this world's version of FEMA in a way. You can also see the medical transport timetable. 2 CETA EVWs personnel must accompany every transport vehicle. We're getting a little bit of lore and world building, and Left 4 Dead does a lot of world building just through subtle things like that. And I always find it interesting to find it. So right off the bat, when you leave, there's going to be a lot of infected. So we heard Coach mention a weapons shop, and that is our first point of contention where we're going to want to go, as well as the mall. So one thing I wanted to show off, which I always thought was pretty cool once I became aware to it, is just there is a subtle Easter egg, not even an Easter egg, but a kind of nod at the developer's creativity here. If you look over here, CETA, Civil Emergency and Defense Agency, Disease Emergency Assessment Dispatch Unit, or DEAD. They find ways to include it, and I love when they do. So there are more common infected over here, as well as a smoker, which I want to help take care of. I saw a spitter, and Nick killed the spitter. Good. I thought that was Rochelle for a moment. Oh, Charger. Woo. So right off the bat, the game is not letting us off too easy, but I wouldn't expect it to. So one thing I want to show off that I didn't really get a good chance to do in the last episode is little weapons that, they're not weapons, but they're common everyday items that you can weaponize in Left 4 Dead. So you have this propane tank here, as well as that gasoline tank. And the gas tank, what it will do is cause fire, similar to a Molotov. So we have had some comments about these hazmat zombies, and essentially those are CETA staff members that did not either wear it properly or get proper training in their suits, because they are still infected all the same. Maybe it just shows how dangerous the green flu is, but you can take it either way you want. Now sometimes CETA members will have perfect. Actually, I didn't plan that at all, but it's cool that he had it. They have boomer bile on them, and if you get 10, there it is, he dropped it over here. If you get 10 of them, you get an achievement. I believe it's Robbed Zombie. Future Andrew will correct me if I'm wrong. But in here, on top of seeing more, common infected, there can either be a grenade launcher or the chainsaw. It doesn't always spawn, and it looks like I was not lucky this time around, but it's usually over here, and I wanted to note that. So with this horde here, we've already used boomer bile before, but this allows us to, there's that gas. It allows us to cause a distraction. Not today, jockey. Sometimes the special infected can blend in with the common, but I was able to catch it today. Charger was taken out. So there are some, perfect timing. There are now incendiary weapons. If I'm going to pick this up, we can place this down here. I will be going back in there. Now we only get 8 shots with the shotgun, which is one of the reasons I do not prefer it to SMGs this time around. I do hear a smoker. I want to make sure I can, the nasty tongue thing. Was able to get him out all the same. More boomer bile, and we can see more of the Savannah. I do like that this is in Savannah, and I always have wanted to comment on this when I played it. I think it's really cool, and I mentioned it in the last... Oh god, Hunter! I don't think it's really cool that you're there. And a witch? God! My luck is not here today. Alright, team. Okay, we are getting unlucky with these special zombies. Thankfully, my team had my back there. Okay. Continuing to move forward, I want to go ahead and grab this propane canister. There we are. And as you can see, I've already explained the suits, but they don't know it. They don't know any... God, no! I like how he said big arm. Gives you a little bit of insight in that world. There is a gas canister here, which is very useful to go ahead and grab for setting up a trap of sorts. I usually try to post it a little closer to the door, but was not able to this time around. Now, with the shotgun, the only benefit is that you can fire from the hip comparatively, but you do have to be very careful with it. What I try to do if I'm using shotguns is try to balance between my 8 shots and keep burning shit. I'm covered in it. Yeah, the spitter's goo is definitely something I try to avoid. Now, if you can hit a special zombie, boomer. I'm getting really unlucky with the sheer amount of special zombies I'm getting. Oh god, I hit him in the butt and it leaked everywhere. That was something I was not expecting. The game never ceases to amaze me with the different ways it can present death. So, in the back of this truck bed, there are some more weapons. Ooh, an Uzi. Much rather have that. Was able to show my method on shotguns, so if you were curious. But I do prefer more automatic weapons in this one. As we can see an ad for Whitaker's Gun Shop up there. That was the gun shop that Coach was mentioning at the start here. There's a Molotov here, as well as a gas canister. Okay, want to make sure I can... There we go! Able to set a flame there, because a lot of the zombies will be coming that way. One of those jockeys, perhaps? I believe it's a boomer. I hear the gurgling. And there is a jockey over there. I want to do my best to make sure I don't get grabbed by the specialty zombies, of course, as I say that. I hear the screech. And of course there's more weapons in here if you, for whatever reason, need it. Able to get the smoker. Thank you, Ellis. So one thing I want to mention is you can see 16 west to Atlanta. In the US, the highway system and the interstate, not the highway system, but the interstate system works this way. Numbers that are even go east to west, while odd numbers go north to south. And the way I remember that is even starts with E, and it goes east to west, so that they have that letter in common. And that's how I personally remember it. The reason I'm explaining that, some people don't know that, and some people are not from the US, so they don't know how the highway system works. And I just wanted to explain that, so if anyone ever asks, now you know. And if you're from the US and didn't know that, well, again, more crucial information that can help you navigate if you're ever lost. So now, my job is to get us to the weapon shop, where we will discuss even more weapons in Left 4 Dead 2. As I said, this game may have only come out a year after the initial first game, and some people think it was too soon. I think it's actually really... I think it improves in a lot of ways, and I like the new cast. And everyone wants a Left 4 Dead 3, myself included, so let's just be happy we got a Left 4 Dead 2, huh? Though we all know Valve's thing is with the number 3. Now, I don't know if it's just in my head, but I always feel like the CETA members take a little bit more to take out. I hear the hunter! I heard him, I saw him. Oh, okay. Thank you, Nick. You saved me, so I'll give you that.
That'll hold me.
I do want to switch to this. Why don't we go ahead and throw that in there? Or miss. Take them out. Get a little bit of closure for that. There is a axe if for whatever reason you want it. take that over what we currently have. That's the option. Some people like melee. I do like melee, but I also prefer always having ammo. So, okay. Here's something over here. What I'm gonna do is, because this is usually where they come from, I am going to switch to the SCAR, which is the weapon. Now, this can be an assault rifle, this can be an AK-47, it can be any one of the weapons, but we got a SCAR this time around. There's also some first aid in here, so to quote the character we are playing as, I do want to take everything we can. Now here's one of the reasons I got a pipe bomb. Let's go ahead and make this super simple for us. I love watching that, just all the carnage. And the SCAR is a burst fire weapon. That was my plan there, Nick, but thank you for giving me that in case I didn't know. And it's also a trailer, not so much a truck. Now sometimes there are things down here. It appears like that's a no today. Was able to get... Thank you, Rochelle. I do well. Nice job yourself. Some more boomer bile. Sounds like there's a boomer somewhere. I do like putting it over there to see what kind of common infected and just general or what's in the area. It's a good way to get them out so you can focus on taking them out in a kind of more controlled area, and you'll see why that can be beneficial later. So I think we did a good job there. Why don't we go ahead? I hear a boomer. There we are. Oh god, didn't see that. Nick was able to kill the charger. A lot of special infected this time around, so happy to see.
Ninja sword here.
I love the katana. I love how they always say ninja sword. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to the pistols. I may actually... I usually... you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to go ahead and get that, that gasoline canister and keep it with me because that can always be used later. I want to go ahead and reload my weapon, make sure I'm prepped and ready to go because I want to make sure. Another thing we can see there is Jimmy Gibbs Jr. is at the Liberty Mall. We heard them mention in passing the mall, so that is the mall they're talking about. We now know it is Liberty Mall. I like how this game, like I said, gives a... God, no! A lot of information through the world. Ugh, Charger. I am a special zombie magnet. However, we can see Whitaker's gun shop. We saw the billboard as we were making our way to... Oh, God! I knew there was a reason I wanted this. Oh, God. Guys, take your time. This was probably the worst time to get a tank encounter. I'm gonna die. Can one of you help me? Please? Reload. I keep getting knocked down. I also like how we can see them using... No, don't use yours. I got my own.
Hold on a sec.
Alright. Twice we have been taken down by surprise specialties zombies, but that's why they're there, man. Can't complain on that. Now, this is actually one of the rare instances where Left 4 Dead gives you a moment to breathe. So I just want to take this moment. So, Whitaker's is open 364 days a year. Hunting and fishing license and permits available here. Whitaker's gun shop. As you can see, he's up there. We're gonna go ahead in the shop. And it sure is. I like how any two pistols, any two 9mm are $1,000, but the submachine guns and the hunting rifles are $400, which is just really weirdly priced. As well as, if you look over here, AK-47 and the assault rifles are very different in pricing, so it's actually kind of cool to mention that it says one tight spread banned in 25 states. A Spaz 12, which is what this shotgun is actually legal everywhere in the US, so anything I say here is obviously based on the US. It's illegal to import it into the US, so I just wanted to say that. It's also illegal for civilians to use almost any of these submachine rifles, at least it was in 94. It did kind of get patched up in 2004 when that law expired. So it's interesting to know that. Another cool thing is that the Desert Cobra, which is a Desert Eagle, is the same price as an assault rifle. Though in this game and in real life, I don't know if I would personally pay that much for it. But I am going to get a laser sight. This will add another $700 to make this gun worth $2,700. So we're gonna want to keep on to it. Now, there are a lot of first aid in here, so what I'm going to start doing is if you right-click on the mouse on PC, you can heal. And some people are asking, why are you explaining this game? This game's been around for a while. You know what? Some people may have never played, and if you haven't, then that's why. And if you have, it's always good to get a refresher. So, I mentioned earlier that I'm not a big fan of the SCAR. I prefer the AK-47, and that's why I wasn't too bent out of shape of it. So, yeah. I just wanted to explain that. Let's go ahead and talk to the shop owner.
Hello there. I barricaded myself on the roof with ample provisions. But in my haste, I forgot coal. So here's my proposition. If you go find me some coals in yonder food store, I'll clear the path to the mall for you.
It's all right, sir. We'll go get you your snacks. But you...
I'm a man of my
I'm
word.
grabbing some first aid.
You got my word on that.
And I like that little bit of dialogue there, as long as you're a man of your word. They have no real idea
grabbing a shot.
who Whitaker is. So Whitaker will destroy the tanker over there if we get him his cola. So I've had a few friends who don't understand the why I appreciate the cola reference. If you're unaware, the world of Coke, which is one of Coca-Cola's factories that creates soda, is actually located in Atlanta, Georgia. So for someone from Georgia to really appreciate their cola, as well as Coca-Cola's from the US and the Georgia region, it makes a lot of sense. So as you can see, Atlanta is not too far from here. It's if you keep going, if you gotta take the exit. So knowing that the world of Coke, it makes sense that someone from Atlanta would really appreciate their Coke as much as he does here. Another thing that's interesting is save for less. Yet another pun to Left 4 Dead. They like putting the number 4, and I always like trying to find all the different ways they do it. So one thing I want to go ahead and do is set up. So once we activate that, this is a different kind of crescendo event. So it's kind of a crescendo and gauntlet all in one. So in that regard, it is very different. One thing I like to do, and this is just something that you can do to save time, is if you move this over here, you usually, unless they patched it out, or maybe I'm not doing it correctly, you can kind of save time if you redirect these shopping carts to this hedge, because what it'll allow you to do, you can also shoot the shopping cart to make it move, so I'll go ahead and do that. You can basically use them to vault over this hedge. I don't know if it was patched out. It may have been. What you want to try to do is get one of these carts to stand up proper. It may despawn as such, but if I can do this, obviously I don't want to waste time here. So I'll give it a few more honest tries, and if I can't, then we're just going to go ahead and start. It appears I can't. But that is something, if you can get it working, that can save a lot of time, especially with what's going to happen. So we're going to open the store door, and because we know there is another pipe bomb over here, I want to go ahead and redirect their attention away from the store. That is something I recommend doing. Go ahead inside, get them distracted, get a good amount of them dead if you can. Go in here. There should be a Molotov. There's some other stuff just in case you need it. Another thing that's cool to see is just how looted this store is. And if you need more ammo for some reason, there's here. I'm going to switch again. Now, this is where your team is going to be pretty instrumental. I also would recommend trying to switch yourself. Anytime you can distract the zombies, do your best to do so. So I'm going to be using a lot of the pipe bombs. While we are doing that, I want to go ahead and move over here. The team is right here, so we are doing pretty well. As you can see, it appears that we actually were... There we are. I didn't think I got it. So there's more boomer bile, which is worth getting, as I mentioned before. Get them distracted, get them away. So, some people don't know this, but you can actually get on this van, and you can use that to get over. I tried to get over on the hedges so I can get right up here, but some people don't know about that van. It helps save time, and especially here, time is definitely important that you keep track of. So I wanted to go ahead and reload, make sure that I'm prepped for them. And we are going to go ahead and give Whitaker his cola. And there he goes. Went ahead and opened the path for us. Now sometimes he has something to say, though, since... There we are. Since we're still kind of in the middle of one of the events here, we're not going to get much from him. I would also recommend, if you need the ammo, to go quickly back in his store. It won't take you too long. And it is a great shop just to get ammo. So there will be more that come down, of course, but if you're using the ammo proper and taking out infected, it's all that matters. So hopefully you're able to learn a little bit about this stuff I've been explaining, and let me know, did you learn anything out of everything I explained? And let me know where you're from. Are you from the US? Have you ever been to Georgia? I'm just generally curious. So, now, as we come closer and closer to another CETA evac station, Liberty Mall. Oh, there is a witch. I do not... God, no! The reason you want to turn off the flashlights is you do not want to startle the witch. It is not a fun proposition. However, we are getting really close to ending this, so I want to fight our way to Liberty Mall. Jockey was on Nick. You can always tell based on who says to get the thing off my back. Now, I always try to check the tent. There are, generally speaking, if you need them, ammo and stuff, though if you are really observant, you shouldn't need the ammo here, and in fact, you should be able to still keep do with what we got earlier. Want to make our way through the tents, shoot up a little bit, get this adrenaline shot. There we are. Alright. Go ahead. Perfect. Oh god, no! Oh, he just wanted to get me to the safe room. Maybe. Can one of you help? Okay. Oh. Go ahead. You know what? We are right here. Guys, get in. Ellis, just get in. Alright. Alright. And that's going to be it for this episode. That's going to be it for today. Let me know. What did you think about this episode? Did you learn anything? I'm curious. We killed the most common infected. I didn't do a lot to the tank, but that's going to be it for this episode. That's going to be it today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for your time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day.